Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Fall officially starts 3 weeks from today, but it feels like it out there this morning. I'll show you how many more mornings this week will feel like autumn coming up.
Plus, leadership shakeup. The interim president at St. Augustine's University is stepping down right as the new semester gets underway this week. How the university is responding to that departure.
And a new era at UNC. The debut of Bill Belichick as the head football coach is tonight. What fans can expect ahead of the big game. It's about to get real. Good morning, everybody. It is 6 o'clock. Great to have you with us on this Labor Day on this Monday. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Lovingood, and we are laboring here to make sure that you know what you need to know before you head on out for the day. And we have Chris Michaels getting you started with your weather forecast. And boy, it's feeling so nice outside, Chris.
Feels amazing out there. Yeah, this morning you step outside, it's just that breath of fresh air and an early preview of fall. The humidity, or the dew point rather, is nice and low. And that's at 53 in early September. You'll take it because you know it can get very muggy this time of year still. Live look at Lake Gaston. Everything is quiet and clear sky overhead is part of what's led to our cool morning out there. But a nice day out on the lake if you have the day off and trying to get that last little bit of summer in today. Gorgeous. Midday temperatures will be at about 74 degrees with highs today in the upper 70s. So we'll help you plan around the rest of the weather for your Labor Day weekend. And our next cold front is on the way, but there's some shifts in the model data. I'll show you what that is and how that affects next weekend's plans coming up.
Thanks, Chris. Breaking news, the interim president of St. Augustine's University is stepping down just as a new semester is set to begin tomorrow. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us now to tell us what the university is doing now after this leadership shakeup. Laura.
This shakeup and what's really been a tumultuous time for the HBCU. We now know that interim president here, Marcus Burgess, he has signed off. Now, we know that this actually began on July 16th, this journey for him. That's what the university said in a statement, that he submitted his resignation July 16th and it took effect on Sunday. In a statement by the university, the Board of Trustees officials said that in part, they extend sincere gratitude to Dr. Burgess for his leadership and service during a pivotal period in the university's history. His commitment and dedication to the mission of St. Augustine's University have been deeply valued. So here's the latest now that we know. Interim Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Virginis Peoples, has assumed all administrative responsibilities, and she will serve in that role in the time being until further notice. That's according to the Board of Trustees. All of these changes, of course, coming days before students are set to head back to classes that actually begins tomorrow.
And we'll be watching to see how that develops. Thank you, Laura. Today is the day UNC Chapel Hill fans have been waiting for all year long, the start of the Bill Belichick era for the Tar Heels. UNC brought in the 8-time Super Bowl winner back in December to replace former head coach Mac Brown. Now, after decades in the NFL, this will be Belichick's collegiate coaching debut. And the first opponent on the schedule, TCU. WRAL will have coverage throughout the day ahead of the big game. So let's go ahead and bring in WRAL's Ali Kadlabar. She is live in Chapel Hill this morning. And Ali, fans are going to wake up to a start of a new exciting season.
Yes, a new exciting season, a new setup as well. There's multiple tents behind me, but there's also a stage. That's new this year for this game day because of a new concert series. It begins tonight. That's Chapel Thrill. The university is also bringing back the tradition of the Old Well Walk, so Bill Belichick and the team will walk from the Old Well to the stadium. UNC Senior Associate Athletic Director Rick Steinbacher says that the anticipation about Belichick's debut is just unmatched.
Hey, let's take what makes us unique. You know, Polk Place, the Bell Tower, the amphitheater out in front of the football centers. Let's do something bigger and better on those. And then to have Coach Belichick and the team get off at the Old Well and walk through all of Chapel Thrill.
Now that Old Well Walk, it's going to start around 5:30, begin at the Old Well, go to the stadium. The Chapel Thrill concert series kicks off with country music star and former Carolina football player Chase Rice at Polk Place. That's at 6 p.m. Live in Chapel Hill, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Business owners and fans have been getting ready for the big day for months now. Local businesses up and down Franklin Street have been gearing up for the extra boost. Restaurants like Sup Dogs are prepared to be even busier than usual. And merch stores like Shrunken Head have been creating new Chapel Bill gear in anticipation of Coach Belichick's debut.
I think it's going to drive a lot of business here. I think Chapel Hill is already doing really great, but the fact that Bill is here, it's going to make it even better.
I think it really empowers small businesses to be able to kind of remind us like why we're here, kind of what we add to the UNC landscape.
They are seizing the opportunity. WRAL will have complete team coverage of Coach Belichick's first game tonight at UNC across all of our platforms. Still ahead in about 10 minutes, we'll also check in with WRAL's Pat Welter about how the team is getting ready for the big game.
Right now, firefighters in Cumberland County are working to put out a house fire, and this is happening in Linden. You'll see these photos here from that scene. The West Area Fire Department says part of Ramsey Street is closed as the crews are working there, and it is asking people to avoid that area if you can. Another fire to tell you about: 50 people out of their homes because of a large fire at an apartment complex in Wayne County. And this fire happened yesterday afternoon in the Rosewood community off Highway 70. 3 people were sent to the hospital, and WRAL spoke with people who are now left with only what they could grab before they escaped. Despite the fire taking so much from people, many are staying pretty hopeful.
We should be more grateful for the things that we have, because you can lose everything from one moment to another moment.
Devastated, but I'm trusting God 100%. Trusting God.
The Red Cross was on scene helping people who lost their homes, and investigators haven't said, though, what caused that fire.
Caught on video, a former Enloe High School football player who's now in college at West Point helped rescue a man from a crash car just before it burst into flames. Take a look.
No, Larry! Come on! Come on, get him out! That's it!
This happened in Fort Montgomery, New York, early yesterday morning. 20-year-old Larry Pickett Jr. ran toward the car after it crashed. He helped pull the disoriented man from the car, which then caught fire seconds later. We spoke with Pickett's father about what happened, and he says helping people is second nature for his son.
I remember right before we brought him to West Point, he actually chased down somebody that was shoplifting from a store in Raleigh. And it was like, LJ, that's dangerous. Like, you don't know what he could have had on him. It's just his instinct to be there and to help people. And obviously his training at West Point, he did mention that. He said that he remembered, some of his training at West Point. But no, he did not flinch. He didn't delay. He sprung right into action.
Pickett's father says he doesn't know how the man who crashed that car is doing, but it did not appear that his injuries were serious. West Point responded to the video, saying it is proud of Pickett's heroic actions.
Around 800 people are dead and at least 2,500 are hurt because of an earthquake in Afghanistan. And that earthquake happened in a mountainous area. The Afghan Public Health Ministry says it will take some time, though, to get the exact information about the number of victims. The Trump administration is moving forward with plans for a major immigration operation in Chicago, and that's despite pushback from state and local leaders. President Donald Trump called on Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker to address crime in Chicago, or else the federal government would become involved. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson signed an executive order that pushes back against that crackdown. Sources say this operation could start within the next few days and might include National Guard troops. The Trump administration is also considering immigration operations in Boston.
Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani is recovering after he was hurt in a car crash. A spokesperson says Giuliani's car was hit from behind by a speeding vehicle in New Hampshire. The spokesperson says Giuliani was flagged down shortly before the crash by a woman who says she was involved in a domestic violence incident. When police arrived to help the woman, Giuliani left. Soon afterward, his car was hit. He suffered a broken bone in his back and injuries to his arm and leg.
It is the unofficial farewell to summer. Labor Day. And just a reminder, government offices and banks will be closed today in observance of the holiday. That includes the post office. The U.S. stock market will not be trading, but plenty of stores will be still open. Some will even be offering holiday sales. You can go to WRAL.com for a list of those.
The days of Power School are over for North Carolina's public schools. Now, school districts say thousands of parents still need to sign up for the state's new student data management service, which is called Infinite Campus. The app helps parents keep tabs on things like their child's academics and course schedules. The Infinite Campus system offers more information than Power School did. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst says this helps the state meet certain requirements.
This change is happening because North Carolina law now requires school systems to upgrade their data systems from what they had before. So a couple of years ago, the State Board of Education decided that Infinite Campus was the best tool for this. Now, if you use Power School, if you log in, you're not going to see anything.
Students are automatically given a campus student account, but parents don't automatically get an account. I have mine downloaded, and I found it pretty easy to use so far. For more details on how to sign up, go to the education section of WRAL.com.
The state is trying to reduce wait times at the DMV by hiring more driver license examiners. The DOT will host a job fair Wednesday and Thursday, and that's because the state is trying to hire nearly 100 examiners. Now, this again is to reduce wait times at the DMV. The career fair will be at the Raleigh Convention Center, and that is from 8 to 5 Wednesday and 8 to 3 Thursday.
It is UNC game day. The team is gearing up for its game against TCU tonight. We'll tell you what Bill Belichick and the players are focused on as they look for a win to start their season.
Plus, a mid-air crash. One person was killed because two planes collided. What we know about the passengers involved.
And August wound up being the coolest since 1992, and this morning definitely starting out pretty chilly out there. We'll show you how much longer we hold on to that fall feel coming up in a few minutes.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, sunrise underway, and it's a beauty outside the legislative building there in downtown Raleigh. A nice calm breeze and the dry air keeping us in the 50s this morning. It's the beginning of September. We've got about 12 hours and 54 minutes of daylight today. Notice over the next 5 weeks, we lose about an hour and a half of daylight. It's just a sign of the season's changing, and it feels like the season's changing out there too. Temperatures mid to upper 70s in the Triangle today. In the Sandhills will be in the low 80s with low humidity lasting through at least Wednesday morning. And we'll start to factor in some scattered shower and storm chances Thursday with a front that's coming through. There's some new trends with that front in the model data. I'll share that with you and how that impacts the late week and weekend forecast coming up.
As fan excitement builds for the debut of Bill Belichick, he and his players have their eyes set on a victory against TCU. WRAL's Pat Welter explains how the team has prepared for the new season.
It's hard to believe they actually hired him. Even harder to believe we actually made it here. Week 1, and Bill Belichick is actually going to coach North Carolina. After a lot of Jordan Hudson early, it's been a lot of football of late. Belichick running a very Bill Belichick camp. Fundamentals, players earning playing time, and even their jersey numbers. We don't know much about a roster full of 70 new players, but we do know the quarterback, Gio Lopez, Bill's diamond in the rough transfer from South Alabama. It's Monday Night Football, only it's college. It's the greatest coach of all time, and the whole sports world will be watching.
However many people are here or not here, or however many hours they talk about it on a network show or don't talk about it, is really not anything in our control. It's irrelevant to us. We're trying to focus on what we can control and what helps us win and helps us prepare for the game. And so the rest of it is, with all due respect, just noise for us. We have to focus on our job and, let you guys do your job.
I know for me, at least, this is only my second game starting, so it's new to me. And, this is college game day, main ESPN prime time. I've never been a part of something that big. But, that's where you just stay where your feet are. You can't focus. Right now, we're not worried about going out there and playing. We're worried about the prep going into the game.
UNC absolutely flooded with media requests. I've heard it's standing room only for reporters, and tickets are already sold out. TCU, a 3.5-point favorite. I'd say take the Horned Frogs, but betting against Bill Belichick, not typically a smart investment.
And Belichick is just one of several changes UNC has made as it prepares for a new era of college athletics. UNC has hired an athletics director in waiting in Steve Newmark. He is a former NASCAR team executive with deep ties to Chapel Hill, and he promises UNC will not be adorned with sponsor logos like a NASCAR driver. But Newmark and the Tar Heels are looking for every last bit of new revenue they can find as their annual athletics budget approaches $200 million. Newmark will have to make big decisions over his first 5-year contract. How to handle Belichick and the football program, renovate the Smith Center, or build a new basketball arena elsewhere, perhaps off the main campus. And should UNC look to leave the Atlantic Coast Conference in the near future? For more on Newmark and current athletics director Bubba Cunningham's new role, you can visit WRAL.com.
A person is dead and 3 others are hurt after 2 small planes collided in midair in Colorado. This happened yesterday morning about 80 miles from Denver. The FAA says 2 people on a Cessna training plane were trying to land when it crashed into another plane. The 2 people in the Cessna only had minor injuries. A person in the second plane died at the scene. Another was taken to the hospital. We don't know how badly that person was hurt. The NTSB and FAA are investigating.
Meanwhile, in Washington state, a person is dead and 3 people are injured because a car crashed into a grocery store. And this happened yesterday just outside Seattle. The driver crashed into the front of the store, and 3 bystanders and the driver were all taken to the hospital. Now, we've learned one person died before they could get to the hospital, but it's not clear if the bystanders were hit by the car or if they were inside the store.
A federal judge has temporarily paused the deportation of unaccompanied Guatemalan minors in U.S. custody. The Trump administration is trying to send more than 600 children back to their home country. It's believed that the children don't have parents in the U.S., but they may have relatives. The program to send them back was supposed to start yesterday. The judge paused it for at least 2 weeks.
2 firefighters are being held in an ICE detention center after being arrested while trying to battle a wildfire in Washington. Now, authorities confirmed that they were holding 2 people who worked for a company that was contracted to help fight the fire. They were detained last week while battling the Bear Gulch fire. The raid forced their crew to pause their work for about 3 hours' time, and the Bureau of Land Management has canceled the contract with the firefighting companies involved after a criminal investigation. Homeland Security says the 2 people in custody were not firefighters and were only there in a support role.
It is 6:18 and the weather has just been remarkably nice this whole weekend for the holiday weekend. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is tracking this for us. And Chris, is this going to Carolina in my mind or a New York State of mind?
Yeah, you kind of have an identity crisis right now because, it's been very close to what you would expect out of late August in Albany over the course of the past few days. Average high and low temperatures in the low 80s and in the upper 50s. Now we're starting in the mid 50s. The azalea gardens looking great and beautiful out there. Temperatures in the 50s this morning and making their way into the 70s this afternoon, which is going to be a similar feel to what we had yesterday afternoon. Rocky Mountain, Wilson, 78. That's also the case in Benson. Close to that in areas like Franklinton and Lewisburg at 77 degrees. Fayetteville, the warm spot at about 81. And then, Chapel Hill making it into the 70s for some tailgating. Kickoff temperatures for tonight against TCU look to be at about 70 degrees. As we head throughout the rest of the game, temperatures will be in the 60s. So nice and comfortable out there, and maybe an extra layer needed at the bus stop tomorrow morning. Sanford 55, Roxborough 51 degrees, Goldsboro 57, Raleigh at about 57 out the door tomorrow morning. And it's all because of that drop in humidity. When the humidity's lower, temperatures can drop a little more too. But the humidity picks up a little bit heading later this week, all thanks to this front. Now produces at least a chance for some scattered showers and storms by Thursday. But the newest model data is showing this front being a little bit farther to the west, which means we may not cool down heading into the weekend. In fact, the bulk of that cool air is likely to be to our north and west. Will actually warm up heading into the upcoming weekend. So enjoy these next few days. Very refreshing, very comfortable, more humid heading into the weekend, and high temperatures potentially reaching the upper 80s by Friday and Saturday afternoons.
Enjoy these next couple of days. You ain't got to tell me twice, Chris. All right, intense moments on the racetrack. A jockey sent flying off his horse at a race in New York. An update on his injuries after he was sent to the hospital.
And dangerous food. 5 on Your Side is warning you about product recalls that could hurt you or make you sick.
Hey, just a reminder, if you have maybe some breaking news, a story tip, even video or pictures of severe weather where you are, report it to us by going to WRAL.com/report it to send your video, your pictures, and tip off our news team.
Scary moment at the Saratoga racetrack in New York this weekend. Jockey Arad Ortiz Jr. was sent to the hospital after being thrown from his horse right out of the gates. Fortunately, he ended up being okay and has even been cleared to race today.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
A movie star who doesn't watch movies, and Lady Gaga's big night ahead at the VMAs.
Let's take a look at what's trending this morning. So, legendary actor Denzel Washington has revealed that he does not watch movies anymore. In a recent interview with GQ, he said he has simply grown tired of them. And the reveal comes ahead of his newest film, Highest to Lowest, releasing on Apple TV Plus this week. I'm not surprised he feels this way. He's not on social media. He doesn't do what people normally do. And plus, he's probably, tired of watching movies after being in them.
Yeah, I get that. You make them and maybe you just don't feel like watching them. But I do wonder, what does he watch then? Anything? Or he just stays off the screen altogether?
No, maybe reruns of a TV show. Who can say?
Maybe he reads books.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, Lady Gaga is returning to the Video Music Awards. MTV announced the pop icon as part of the list of performers. She is also the leading nominee. Get this, she has 12 nominations this year. This will be her first appearance at the VMAs since 2020.
You got other big performers there, Post Malone, Doja Cat, and Jelly Roll, and that show's on September 7th, so pretty big event.
Yeah.
All right, people were out celebrating this past weekend Black culture at the African American Cultural Festival in downtown Raleigh. What you cannot see off camera is me vibing to this music. The entertainment lineup for the final day yesterday included DJ sets, club cardio, and comedy. That festival is an experience. They have family-friendly activities, visual arts, and craft and food vendors. And we had a moment to ask some people why they make it out to the event when they can.
A good culture, as the food especially, and my granddaughter's first time, she wanted to know what it was like, so we was like, okay, we'll definitely go this time.
I love the cultural part of it. Beautiful T-shirts, historical paraphernalia, and just the atmosphere. Just the atmosphere is really beautiful.
Yeah, it was the food for me when I went a couple years ago. WRAL is a proud media sponsor of the African American Cultural Festival.
Food always brings people together. 6:26 now, stepping aside. The interim president at St. Augustine's University resigns. The latest setback for the school as it prepares to start a new semester.
Plus, Bill's debut. A new era starts today for UNC football. The exciting day in store for Tar Heels fans.
And an exciting day, especially if you're a fan of fall-like weather. 70s in the afternoon, 50s out the door tomorrow morning. I'll show you when humidity levels climb and when the next cold front tries to sneak into North Carolina. Coming up.